Hello everyone, welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Trying to focus in on the 2015-2016 season preview of the Philadelphia Flyers and what to expect from Philly during the as Dave Haxtell becomes one of the first coaches ever to go right from college to the NHL. Definitely a bit of a change in the guard in Philly, but you got to look big picture here. A lot of bad contracts on this team, namely Vinny Lecavalier. But I mean, you look at Colin McDonald's contract isn't exactly desirable. I thought they kind of sort of overpaid for Jake Voracek, and there's a number of other things that I think they should have done differently. But it is what it is, and you got to go by what you have here. And I think Sam Gagner can give him a spark. Obviously, Cody Giroux is one of the best players in the game. I liked what I saw from Colin McDonald. Up front, just hitting the shit out of everything on was it Tuesday night they played the Rangers, really giving them physical, old school Flyers presence on the bottom six. And I mean, that's obviously a good thing. But, I like their farm system. I think they've drafted pretty well. I know they sent Sanheim, Provorov, and Konecny back to junior this week. But, I think all three of those guys will play in the WJC this year. I think they could benefit from the, added experience of playing another year in the CHL. And quite frankly, this Philly team isn't going anywhere, so let's, no point in rushing them. Couple things. I think Luke Schenn is on his way out of Philly. I think the soon-to-be 26-year-old is more of a liability than an asset at this point. I think they'll wheel and deal and probably end up with a fourth-round pick for him. But, it's just a matter of, opening up a spot. I think Shane Gaspierre has all but entirely clinched a spot in this roster. I really like what he does offensively. I think he's got a good skill set and, not bad for a kid from Pembroke Pines or was it Margay, Florida. And then, again, I think the blue line, they have good prospects on defense, so it's kind of like weather the storm with, these guys for now and then see what you got, in a year or 2 years or whatever. I mean, it's not going to be an overnight thing in Philly. It's never an overnight fix. And for as talented as their prospect core is, they suck right now. And I'm not trying to pick on Philly, but it's bad. I mean, there are going to be some, bad nights at the Wells Fargo Center between the Flyers and the Sixers this year. It's just not the way you want to draw it up. But you got to go through it in order to get better. So, I think Braden Shen will have a good year this year. I think, for a bad Shen, you got a good Shen, and I think with Luke all but assuredly out the door, Braden can pick up the slack for the Shen name in Philly. But I think you're going to get a lot of offense out of Claude Giroux and Jake Voracek. I mean, those guys will be fun to watch every night. But that's just. It's my phone going off. Right now, this team isn't built to win. They're in that weird, almost like the Bruins, where they're in that weird sort of in-between place where they're not exactly shitty enough to be in the Austin Matthews, Jake Checker, and sweepstakes, but they're not exactly good enough to compete for playoff spot. And, I think if the Flyers are serious about a rebuild, they'll start packaging assets. There's some movable pieces here. Maybe Strite, get you something. Teams looking for something down the stretch. Maybe nobody would touch Vinny Lecavalier, so that's wishful thinking. And supposedly Hackstall said he's giving him a clean slate to work with. I've already said that, but that's one of those need a hand or there situations. Hey, maybe Matt Reed, 29 years old, he can go somewhere. He gets some assets back. Maybe Sam Gagner plays his way up and looks like he was looks like the player was in his early NHL days. And the team trades for him. I just think right now you got to think about the future, and the future's bright in Philly, but the future's not right now. So just weather the storm this year. I'd kind of put Philly in between the Bruins and Leafs in terms of the rebuild, where the Leafs are closer to the bottom and the Bruins are closer to not getting to the bottom. They're like in that the middle floor, if you will, out of the three. In Philly, in the Bruins case, perennial playoff contenders in the East that are changing things up and have need a new recipe. That'd be that's the way it goes. There's not a whole lot here to talk about. I mean, I'm really trying to jam it into a 5-minute segment, but it's like they're not gonna be that good. Giroux's gonna be fun to watch. According to Jordy from Barstool Sports, Del Zotto will contend for the Norris Trophy, but it's just the way it goes. And unfortunately, things go in cycles. And right now, this cycle for Philly is closer to the bottom than the top. Anyway, that's our episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the off season and beyond. Later, guys.